Hello my friends, the day after plus 22. Yesterday it was 21, but mistakenly I said 22. This is now 22. Look at this idiot. It's amazing. Okay. A lot of nice cars parked in front of La Martin. Today in Belgrade was sunny up until recently, not so hot, below 20. Currently 18.5. But now it's a bit cloudy, interestingly. Driving to the city center from Vračar. We will be passing next to some of the most interesting sites in Belgrade. I was looking also today what happened on today's date. The most recent history, let's say, was the event from 1991 when football team Red Star from Belgrade, Crvena Zvezda, Stella Rossa, won the European Championship in football, club football. It was the first and the only time that a club from Yugoslavia, Serbia, Yugoslavia, ever won this. But this was really a golden team of Red Star. And unfortunately then everything fell apart after this. But yeah, we are very proud. Then subsequently they've beaten Colo-Colo from Colombia, if I'm not mistaken, and then they also won the Intercontinental Cup. So practically being the very champion of the world. But there were two events from more distant history that are also quite interesting. The first one was from 1453. 1453. The fall of Constantinopole, or Vizant, or Tsarigrad, or Istanbul, depending. There are many names to this city, to this magnificent city. In 1453, at today's date, it fell to the hands of the Ottomans, and which practically marked, according to many historians, this event has marked the end of the Middle Age. Interestingly, the Kosovo battle, the big clash between the Ottomans and Serbs, happened much earlier, some more than 60 years earlier, in 1939. In 1389. So 60 years before the fall of Constantinople, which is, I would say, interesting, quite interesting, because the Constantinople is much more to in the direction of the Ottoman Empire, the Anatolia, etc. Which, at least to my mind, was considered as the heart of the Ottoman Empire. Be it as it was, this was the end of the Byzantium, practically, the Eastern Roman Empire. One more interesting event also happened exactly 500 years after, in 1953, there was a New Zealander alpinist who first conquered the Mount Everest, the highest peak in the world at the Himalayan mountains. Together with a guy from Nepal, I mean the Sherpas. Well, interestingly, yeah, the other day I was telling a story about Dragan Jacimovic, who was the first Serb to do it, but he did it in 1991, if I'm not mistaken. Now driving the streets of Kneginje Zorke, the ex-street of Ivana Milutinovića. And probably before that it was again Kneginje Zorke, because there was this era of socialist regime from, let's say, 1945 to 1990, 1989, depending. When the socialists had a habit of changing the names of streets and giving the names of Second World War heroes of the Narodno-oslobodilačka borba, NOB, like there was no history before NOB. I mean, I don't see it as a legit, because there were so many new streets being built after the Second World War, so all these new streets could have been given names of the heroes from the Second. I mean, I don't say that we should not honor and respect our heroes from the Second World War. I mean, on the contrary, I'm exactly the opposite opinion, that we should honor and respect all the heroes of our glorious history. But you don't change, I mean, the names just based on the last 4 years of your history, as if the country did not have any history prior to that. Never mind. Now in Boulevard Revolucija, this is one of two streets in Belgrade that was glorious enough to have a film made just about the street. I mean, the other is Ustanička. The Boulevard Kralj Aleksandar, Boulevard Revolucija back then was the name, was the first one, and we are now passing next to Metropole Palace, also one of the glorious hotels, I mean, in Belgrade, now in the hands of Greeks. Yeah, they made a full reconstruction of the hotel, and now it's quite shiny and bright, nice looking. The service inside, if there is a disproportion between the price and the level of service somewhere in Belgrade, this is the place. With this is at least my experience, quite a low level of low. It appears as high level of service, but actually in essence, if you see some details, it's quite low, and the prices are sky high. So I believe this critic should be considered as positive critic, I mean, for the owners and the management to do something about it, because I can tell you now, I mean, the stories of my experiences, but yeah, it was it was even funny at some place. I mean, once Actually, I came to a conference just one of the first conferences after the reconstruction. However, I mean, the hotel was not finished yet. I mean, the reconstruction was not finished, but they opened it just like that. So you saw, I mean, there was so many details that were not complete, but they decided to open it to start gaining some income. But I remember, first of all, you go to the toilet. I mean, while we were at the conference room, it was okay. But then I went to the toilet, and first of all, the door were not able to close because there was a overlap between the door and the door frame but it was not 2 millimeters, it was 2 centimeters. So it was ridiculous. And then you go to the pissoir, and this is a relatively big room with a number of places where you can take a leak. And everything is kind of automatic. I mean, the light sensors based, etc. However, when you approach the pissoir and you start taking a leak, the light goes down because there was a sensor and there was a timer. So what do you need to do? You have this thing in your hands, your body. In some cases it was my best buddy, in some others not so much. And then you have to go back. I mean, you have to stop from taking a leak, which is never pleasant. You go back 5 steps so that the sensor catches you, and then the light goes on again, and then you approach again to finish your job. And maybe depending on how how long does it take, you will need to repeat this action several times. Yeah. Plus then there was a lunch, and I remember I was in a hurry a bit, so I had to be quick. So I went among the first ones to the lunch, but then there was not even finished. There were no tags with the pots with food in it. Not pots, but you know, these yeah, let's say pots. So as there were no tags, there was no chance to know what is inside, so you would have to open everything and then see what is inside, and then decide whether you like to eat that or not. So there was a kid, I mean, servicing there, but only after a couple of words I realized that he's a school kid. I mean, just picked up from some school, and like he was doing some traineeship there or whatever. I'm not sure what actually did he do. And he then offered to explain me what's what there, I mean, concerning the food. And then he started telling, and I mean, he was opening and telling me this is this, this is this. And out of 5 dishes, he didn't manage to guess any single one, because I have quite some experience to see what it is inside. What's the difference between the wheel meat or pork or even poultry? So he missed 5 out of 5, and I said, okay kid, thank you very much, I mean, this was very helpful. What else? And there were so many small other things, some of them are rather difficult to explain. Actually, I was sitting once at the sofa in the lobby, And then I realized that there is some water leaking from the ceiling to the place next to mine at the sofa, because the sofa was for 3 persons. And I was like, wow, I was quickly called somebody there, from the service staff, and tell them, look, there is something leaking from the ceiling directly to the sofa. Do you think that they paid some attention to it? They just said, oh sir, you can switch your place to the next sofa, please. And I was like, aren't you going to do something about it? Yeah, don't worry, we'll take care. Of course, the leakage continued. So many things, but yeah, this was 5 years ago or something. So hopefully they did improve something in the meanwhile. Not sure though. But okay, the hotel is definitely looks nice, this for sure. Okay, thanks for watching so far, and talk to you soon again.